18,000 fans here today, largest crowd of the year, largest crowd in I think 3 years. Do you guys sense the buzz around town and the buzz in the building that people are getting excited about this team?
We, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here in front like we just don't notice, but yeah, that's just what we're trying to build here. We came here for that, we all came here to turn this thing around, and we had to trust the process to be able to do that, and we had to get hit in the mouth to be able to like do what we're doing now. So yeah, we're just gonna keep building, keep going to practice, keep believing in each other.
This one's for Terrence. How far along do you think you've come with your all-around development on the defensive end of the floor as a distributor when Chucky goes to the bench? Just how far do you think you've come in those areas?
I feel like I've came far, like as far as like in one season. I feel like I've got better since I've been here in one season than I ever have in my career. Yeah, just my teammates, they just give me that confidence to go out there and just be a playmaker, whether I'm scoring. Even the defense end, I got guys like Rain, like just firing me up to be able to like guard these type of guys, and yeah, like that's just part of like really wanting to win, and yeah, it's just been great.
What were your thoughts on the new jerseys, and did you all get a chance to kind of learn, and kind of get a feel for the city's history with the Dirt Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the jerseys are sweet. They're like, gets you excited to kind of put them on and get ready for the game. It's super exciting getting new jerseys, and especially for something like the Dirt Bowl. And when we first got here in the summer, while it was going on, Peyton talked to us about it all and the history of it. Then, obviously, with these jerseys announcing, you kind of learn a little bit more of it. So, I mean, it's great to involve the whole city of Louisville and basketball in Louisville and kind of bring that community in. And, yeah, I mean, these jerseys are sweet.
Yeah, just pick up what Rain was saying. I kind of didn't know, like, in the summer what we was doing at the moment. He just said some of the guys need to come out to the Dirt Bowl or whatever. And once we left, and we got these jerseys, like last night, me and my girlfriend, we looked into it and kind of seen the history of it. But like he's saying, it's just great to be able to, like, get a tribute to the state of Louisville, the city of Louisville, and just come out here with these new jerseys and play in them.
Javon, and this is also for Rain after Javon. I'm sorry, Terrence, fat. Okay,
There you go.
just talk about the eight in a row wouldn't have been thought of in the past years. There's a lot of marked improvements on a lot of different things, detail, rebounding, shoot. What do you think overall the team has learned and gotten better at in the last, say, 6 to 8 weeks?
I say just being, like, connected as a unit. Everybody's on the same page right now, and we knew it was going to be this way, but it had to take a little bit of time for us to, like, gel together and try to put this thing together. But it's just been great. It's just our togetherness and going out there trying to do it together every single night.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the consistent approach that we have every single day coming into practice. Like, we experienced a little losing streak at the start of the season, and we're the exact same then as we are now, and it's just kind of keeping it consistent every day. I've been a part of really good teams in my career. I've gone on a 20-game win streak, and kind of seeing that, like, progression and not getting caught up in the highs and lows of it. It's just coming in, focusing on the next game and that preparation, because what you've done before that doesn't really matter in that time.
I know Coach yells at you guys some, but it doesn't seem like he really gets on you all a whole lot. We're used to the Patinos and the people who yell a lot. How much of an effect does that have to keep things calm and on an even keel, both guys?
I mean, I come from something a little bit different. My head coach doesn't really like that. I think he yells, but he do keep his composure. But he most definitely yell. But he do all his yelling in practice, though. You know what I mean? He just coaching us up in practice, and we know that we can't come in and half step no matter what. When we come in and practice tomorrow, we got to do everything a certain way to be able to get out of there. So we already know that. No matter how sore you is, we're going to go in, we're going to live tomorrow. We're going to get our extra shots. Like, this thing is every day, and he hold us accountable with that, and I think it's great.
Is practice tougher than games sometimes?
Oh, by far. Practice been tough. Since I got here, practice have been way more tougher than games. Just like I'm saying, like you gotta do everything full speed. You gotta know what you're doing. When you transition to something else, you gotta pick it up. You gotta run there at full speed. It's just a lot, but I feel like it's helped me as a player.
For both you guys, Virginia is a very physical team. Play a very physical defensive game. ACC overall is a very physical league. For you guys, this being the second time you played Virginia, how do you think the team is adjusting to that physicality? And then, especially for Virginia today, do you feel like this was easier this time, or you were more used to it than the first time you guys played Virginia?
Yeah, you got to give them credit. They're playing super hard all the time, super physical, and you kind of know that going in, and you got to kind of meet and exceed that. And the first time we played them in the first half especially, we definitely got a little out-toughed during moments in that game. And then as the second half progressed, we became more physical. And that was like one of the main keys of the game today is like we knew they were going to be physical. They play super hard all the time and it doesn't stop. So you got to give them credit and all the guys on our team credit for coming in and exceeding that.
So every press conference, it's like this is the first time since 2020 that's largest crowd. You're all seeing a lot of firsts, a lot of revival, and you keep saying you want to stay in the moment. But how are you guys doing that? How are you guys focusing and just kind of enjoying what's going on?
Like Rain said earlier, he's been a part of great teams. All the players that we got on our team have did this before, have gone on a streak. But we just hold each other accountable, and we got older guys that's been through it already. So our main thing is to get in the march and. To get in the march, you got to be consistent and be able to stat wins and keep winning and don't worry about like what's next. Right now, we're just gonna celebrate this win, and tomorrow we're gonna move on. We're gonna get ready for SMU and just really living in the moment. Older guys, we know what to do in these situations.
Yeah, Coach was late getting in here yesterday to do his whole preview press conference with us. He said you guys kind of ran long in film. And he's been talking about lately just how much it's kind of like a back and forth conversation, with you all and the staff, just kind of getting like the scouting report and a game plan together. I'm just wondering, like, have you all been on teams where that's the case, where it's kind of just like where you feel like that it's kind of back and forth, and and the coaches aren't just kind of telling you, hey, go out and do this. Do you feel like that this is just, like a team that can kind of, like you have everybody, on the same page, working well together?
Yeah, and I think the staff do a really good job of that. Like we have long film sessions where we talk about game plans, situations, whatever, and we've just got a veteran group where we can kind of pick stuff up quick, where the coaches might say, all right, we're in this for one play, and then the next we're in this, and guys are able to kind of pick that up really quickly, and we're always constantly looking to find ways to kind of just win the game in like the small little details.
Yeah, Terrence, was there a certain point when you and Chucky started doing like your own scouting together? PK has talked about how you guys will text that flow. I think it started around the North Carolina game where you said you all were, sharing like some insights that you got from film with him. Can you kind of think back to, when that started?
Yeah, it started around that time. We're just trying to pick up and play off each other's strengths. Chucky is more of a heat the ball guy, full court. I'm more of a catch you at half and guard that. So once we just talk about it before every game, which person we're going to guard, which one is like better for us. And even Reno, he do the same thing. Me, him, and Chucky, like we just talks about like what's a better matchup to our strengths on the defense end. We don't mind like passing the guy off, like not enough pride and all that stuff. So that's why we're winning. We're believing in each other. We're being connected, and we're not just leaving it all on the coaches.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I have a lot of respect for Coach Sanchez. We came up in the business together as assistants, longtime assistant under one of the greatest coaches in the history of college basketball. And I mean, I'm talking 30 or 40 times over the last 20 years. I've called him just to ask defensive questions, but when they were at Washington State, when he was an assistant at Virginia before he went to Charlotte. He's just a world-class guy with tough circumstances, but he's got those guys playing really hard. You know, the team that we played against at Virginia versus the team that I saw tonight, man, they were very physical from the very beginning and tried to disrupt our flow. You could tell the adjustments that they made, and they're a good team. They're a good team, and they're going to continue to get better and better and be a force as we approach conference tournament time and things like that. So, but I thought our guys responded to that. Defense or offensively, we got off to a good start. We were able to get into rhythm, even though that they were trying to really pressure us and not let us move to our spots. I thought our screening was good. Our actions were good. We were able to generate some open shots early on and really got going. And that great start helped a lot. I thought the crowd was phenomenal. I know there were a bunch of initiatives in town to really drive attendance here today. I mean, somebody told me it's like the highest attendance in the last 4 years or something like that. And we felt it. It was a huge boost in different points of the game. When you hear that yum roar and the crowd gets on their feet, it really just injects energy into us. It's such a factor, and it was a great atmosphere today. So a big shout out to our fan base. I think our defense continues to be our calling card throughout the course of this winning streak. I think everybody knows we can really score the ball. Our guys are playing in rhythm, connected, really sort of understanding their roles, and the concepts are just second nature now. But the thing that's carrying us has been our defense, and we got to continue to guard at this level. We play a very good team on Tuesday down in Dallas, and SMU, one of the most talented and dangerous teams in our entire conference. And it's going to be a tough environment. We got to have 2 great days getting ready.
Questions for Coach Kelsey? Raise your hand and raise your
Coach, today was a very physical game. Just kind of talk about it. It seems like your team has really adopted, kind of the mindset, especially in the second half, of just really grinding down a team and just kind of choking them out. Just kind of talk about the physicality aspect of your team right now. Do you see that continuing to grow, and how has that been since that North Carolina game?
Yeah, I mean, we want to be the most physical team every time we take the floor. We say relentless effort. It's playing hard with grit and tenacity, and they make it hard. Like, they are very well schooled in their mover blocker scheme. I mean, they screen you and they screen you again and they illegal screen you. And I'm not saying it's illegal screens, but you can't call all of them. And they do a phenomenal job of reading those screens. Like, if you make a mistake and you shortcut and whip the screen, they're going to flare you, and they put it on time. And you just can't turn off mentally. You got to stay engaged and continue to execute your system. And then they've done a good job of adapting, or not adapting, but mixing pick and rolls with their off-ball mover blockers. So now you got to go from guarding all the off-ball screens to all of a sudden they put you in pick and rolls. So they do not let you turn off. In terms of number of possessions in the game, they're one of the slowest pace teams in the country, and they force you to stay locked in deep into possessions. And I think that's what our guys did. Not perfect. We made a bunch of mistakes, but nobody ever is perfect, is they stayed engaged and continue to guard as they continued to grind us and screen us.
Yeah, Pat, I'm paraphrasing Terrence a little bit here, but he was saying he feels like this is the most he's grown within a season maybe in his collegiate career. In his all-around game as a defender, distributor, where have you seen him take the biggest steps forward?
I mean, the biggest steps, he can score. He can score in his sleep. Like, that kid can give you 20 before he gets out of bed. Like, he is a talented scorer in a bunch of different ways. But what I've seen over this winning streak, and I said this to you after the first couple games that we won, he's been one of the major catalysts in our defensive rise. And he's taken pride in it. He wants to guard the best player. You guard number 11 on the other team, everything is for him, you are chasing him, and Fat wants the best player on the other team. And I think it's really given our other guys courage, and he's really set the tone. and everybody's kind of taken notice of that, and we gain momentum that way. So I think he can always score, and he always will be able to score, but his defense is like gone through the roof, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah, you guys have won 8 in a row now. A lot of times you see in sports when teams get on a roll, they get distracted or they start feeling good about themselves. What in particular have you done to keep your guys focused?
Next thing. It's all we talk about. You know, I've said this a bunch of times in these press conferences. The most important thing in the history of our program is the next thing we do. And that's all we worry about. You know, I love that you guys are talking about an 8-game winning streak because that's good for our program. It puts people in the seats. Recruits notice it. Keep writing it. But we're not talking about it. Like, we are going to have a great recovery day tomorrow. It'll be a mental day. We'll be excellent in our film session. We won't do anything physical. We'll walk through, and this game will no longer exist when they wake up tomorrow. We celebrate the wins. We celebrate them because we work hard, you know, and a lot of time's put in. And we celebrate in that locker room. We do our dance. We hoot, we holler, we cheer, because I think it's important to have joy in your work as well. I mean, you could tell our guys are playing with joy. Good things happen to their teammates, and we always talk about tight huddles during a game. They're in huddles, and they're doing, like, smiling and dancing. I love that. Joy in your work, but it's just about having the best preparation day in the program's history tomorrow, and then we'll do that again on Monday. Short turnaround, travel day, go to Dallas, play against a really, really good team. So there is no such thing as an 8-game winning streak. All that's over. It's SMU.
Yeah, did you notice the students, you know, they had their hats on for rain? The little umbrella hats?
I did not. That's sick.
I was just going to ask, because we spoke over the summer, and you talked about, you know, just how important it was to make the students feel like that they, you know, that this was their program. We're just wondering, you know, to have that strong of a showing from them tonight. You know,
That's
they're
awesome.
You know, they're wearing the, you know,
That's
those
awesome.
hats for rain. Just how does that make you feel?
That's the deal. Like, we talk about the energy that the crowd gave us today. The heart and soul of any college basketball program is their student body. That's the epicenter. It's their team. And when you look up there and, you know, that big section behind in there, it's not like it's a spattering of people. I mean, they're packed in there like sardines, and they are making an impact in the game. So I heard Sean Miller talk about it the other day when Xavier beat Villanova, and I saw a clip of his, and he was just saying that was the push. We don't beat them without them, and I feel the same way when our student body makes an impact in the game like that. The Yum was a difference maker today, man. Let's keep that going.
Coach, Chucky goes off against Syracuse last game. Lights out. Today, first half, he's 0 for 7 from the field, you know, from the court in the first half. But you look up, it's 39-28. You're up 11 at halftime. This team has just seemed to be able to be so consistent scoring regardless of who it is. What do you put the finger on how that happens?
Until I did the post-game radio interview with Jody Demling, and he said Chucky was 2 for 13. I had no idea. I really didn't, because I felt like he was dominant. I mean, he had 8 points, 8 assists, 4 steals, and 1 turnover. And he took tickets, and he sold hot dogs, and did everything. So, you know, point guard, I say it all the time, Skip Prosser used to say, you give him the ball at 12 noon, and he gives it back to you safe and sound at 2. And that's what Chucky Hepburn does. Listen, he is playing like one of the best point guards in the country because he is. I mean, somebody said top 5 point guards in the country. Name 5 better than him. He's really, really good, and he impacts the game on the defensive end. Great leader, can really score. I mean, he's had 27, 30 in a game. He scored 8 tonight, and I thought he was dominant.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm just speaking of just more of the scoring. It's just, you know, one night it's Javon, another night it's Rain goes crazy. But it always seems like somebody steps up every time. Like what
yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the strengths of our team is that you can't circle one guy on the scouting report. I mean, Javon's had 32 in a game. Fats had 27 in a game. Rain's had 27 twice. Chucky's had 27. So, you know, usually you go into a thing in a scouting report like, okay, who are the knowns? Like, who are the dudes? And I just like to think we have a lot of them. I mean, you look at scoring totals. James 12, Javon 13, Fat 16, Rain 19, Chucky 8. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's you know, 5 guys in double figures. But that's not to say, I mean, I thought Kanai's contribution was phenomenal. He's playing with unbelievable energy. He's a ridiculously talented freshman. When Frank's name's called, he goes in there and gives us really, really good minutes. I was on the scout team. I was on those guys after the game because, hey, you get a minute and 23, they can't come in and go bang three, dunk. Can't happen. Everybody's if you got to coach everything. Coach Prosser used to say, if you're not coaching it, you're allowing it. So it doesn't matter if there's 123 and it's the end of the game. We got to get stinking stops. So now those scout team guys are phenomenal. They know every baseline out of bounds, backward and forward of every team we play against. Simply by an alignment, they can see it and call out what they're in. Those scout teams guys are elite. I was a scout team guy, so I took a lot of pride in that, and those guys take a lot of pride in that. But they got to get stops when they go in there. Sorry.
Was the decision to rest Noah today basically just to give him a game to get the thumb healthy?
Gosh darn, Noah. I've talked so many times about what a warrior he's been. I mean, a kid broke his thumb. Played the first game with a broken thumb. We didn't know it was broke yet. Then he gets surgery, has 4 pins put in, and goes, can I still play? And the doc goes, yeah, but it's going to hurt. He's like, can I hurt it any worse? No. He stinking played. Well, what happens is he's getting it nicked. He's getting it banged. Fell at Syracuse and fell on it. We got it x-rayed again. Everything's fine, but it's sore and swollen. So we're going to try to let it settle down a little bit. We don't have any word on what we're going to do on Tuesday. We just need that thing to settle down and continue to heal. But he's a dog, man. Like, that kid just wants to play, and he plays hard. He's playing with a broken thumb. We just thought the best thing to do tonight was but I thought other guys stepped up. Kanai was really good. Kadir stepped up and gave us great minutes. I hate quoting the Pittsburgh Steelers because I'm a Bengals fan, but Mike Tomlin always says next man up, next man up. And that's what our guys believe in.
A little bit separate from the game, you talk about the history of the program and honoring Bill Olson during this.
Yeah.
Him in the practice facility after
Yeah.
him. Why was that meaningful for you guys to do?
Bill Olson, I hadn't really got to know him much in my first 9 months here, but when Josh came to me and a group of former players and donors stepped up and this idea came up, I found out a lot about him. Then I had an opportunity to meet him, spent a lot of time with him the other day. Bill Olson is as responsible as anybody for the dynasty, for the brand, for the elite brand that Louisville Athletics is. He was an assistant basketball coach, recruited a lot of those guys for Coach Crum that were on the national championship teams. Those guys adore him. They love him. He's a former Marine. The guy said when Coach Crum would go out of town recruiting and Coach Olson would take over practice, they would be like, oh, my gosh, this is going to be brutal. He was a hard driver, but they love him. And so then he became an administrator, became the athletic director for what it was, 16, 17 years. He oversaw Final Fours, and he built the athletic department and the teams. And Bill Olson is big time. And it was so touching to be able to be a part of that ceremony and help unveil that and to see his emotion and his family. It was really, really, really cool. So I'm proud of him. The other thing I wanted to say real quick is how cool it was that our guys were wearing the Dirt Bowl uniforms today. The Dirt Bowl that's stinking awesome. So Shawnee Park in the summer, long-time tradition since 1967. 69, this outdoor playground basketball league that is like famous here. And to hear the guys over the years talk about how that tradition is built, and it's on the west side. I'm a west side guy in Cincinnati. I love it. It's awesome. This is such a basketball town. The heart and soul of this town, I believe, is basketball, and that is the grassroots of grassroots. So for us to be able to honor the Dirt Bowl today and wear those uniforms is a really, really cool thing, and I thought it was special.
Should go out and play in there next year.
I might. I can hoop a little bit.